Hello my dear students. So now there is something new with this part C, and this part C is related to the new concept about the subjects, direct objects and the indirect objects. So talking about the subjects, direct objects and the indirect objects, a subject is the doer of the action. Remember, the one who does the work is the subject. For example, Ramesh is eating Maggie. Ramesh is eating Maggie. So the verb of action, that is eating, is done by which person? Ramesh. So who is the doer? Who is doing the work? Who is doing the work of eating? Ramesh is doing the work of eating. So Ramesh is a subject. In the same way, if I say direct object is affected by the action of the verb, and it answers the question verb plus what. And let's try to understand with this example. Raman gave Nida a pen. Raman gave Nida a pen. So here, in simple words, just try to understand. Raman is subject. After subject, when you get another name, and if that name is a living thing, okay, if that name is a living thing, so this name will be called as indirect object. And if that name is non-living thing, that will be called as direct object. Clear? Means the thing on which the verb is done, the action is done, is called direct object. The thing which is directly related to the action is called direct object. Just try to understand, I repeat. The thing which is directly related to the action is called direct object. For example, I am writing with a pen. So pen is a direct object, because the work of writing is done by the pen. Similarly, Raman gave Nida a pen. So Nida is an indirect object, because it is, although related to the subject, it seems to be an object, but it isn't. It is not a direct object. A direct object is that which is directly related to the verb. Clear, my dear students? So Nida is an indirect object and pen is a direct object. And same is the definition over here. Verb plus what? Verb plus to whom? Forget about this. This is not that much important, because you just have to memorize one thing. If it is an indirect object, it has to be the living one. It has to be the living one. And if it is a direct object, it has to be, it should be directly related to the verb or the action which is done. Now, she bought her sister a skateboard. She is a subject. Her sister a skateboard. Skateboard is a direct object, and her sister is a indirect object. Sister is an indirect object. They went on holiday last week. So they went. So in they went on holiday last week, they is a subject, and holiday is an indirect object. In the same way, this all five is there in the picture. Now the next thing, which is again equally and very important, is this cases. Clear? Is this cases? Just a minute. Where is it? Yes. So students, here is the case. Noun case. So in order to understand noun case, you have to understand one thing, that noun case tells us about the function of the noun in relation to the other words in the sentence. Let's say Take an example. A noun can come in the beginning of a sentence and becomes a subject. A noun can come in the ending of the sentence and becomes an object. A noun can come in between the sentence and shows possession and becomes a possessive case. So if a noun is a subject, if noun is used in subject, it is a subjective case of noun. And if a noun is used in the object, it's the objective case of noun. And similarly, if it is used to show possession, it is the possessive case of noun. So the same we have to understand this example. Kari read a book. Kari read a book, not read a book. Kari read a book. Kari read a book. So the word, the name Kari is a noun, and it is coming the starting of the sentence, so it's a subject. Moreover, who is doing the action of reading? Who is the doer? Kari is the doer, and if Kari is the doer, Kari is called subject. Kari is called subject. Clear, my dear students? Now the next is, when a noun or pronoun is used as the subject in a sentence, it is said to be nominative case. So this was related to nominative case. It can be nominative case, it can be subjective case. Noun case can be said as nominative case or subjective case. Both are correct. Clear? Let's check the second, which is objective case. Kari read a book. Now the sentence is again same. Kari read a book. So my dear students, here the action of reading is done by Kari, but it is done on book. Clear? The action of reading is done on the book. So the tool was book, and it means that the verb of reading, the verb reading is directly related to the object, and this object is book. And hence when you see a noun used as an object, you call it the objective case of noun. Clear, my dear students? Now look at the last one, possessive case. So before this last one, you have to understand this thing. Clear? Note, when a plural ends in s, the possessive case is found by adding only an apostrophe, as girl's bag. Girl's bag. So we don't just have to write this. What all we can do? For example, yes, here's the example here. We really don't need to apply the apostrophe s. We can just leave it by adding an extra comma over the letter s. Clear? So Gita's book. So here there is a possession, means with the in the sentence Gita's book, or in the word Gita's book, it is clear that the owner of the book is Gita. The owner of the book is Gita, and since she is the owner, she has got the possession of that book. The children's book. So here it means the owner of the books are children, and since the owner of the books are children, so therefore we'll apply an apostrophe before it. My sister-in-law's house and the girl's bag. So in the same way, when you have to represent the possessive case, just have to write the noun and apply an apostrophe. I repeat, just have to write the noun and apply an apostrophe. Okay, this is the sign of apostrophe. I repeat, this is the sign of apostrophe. I repeat third time, this is the sign of apostrophe. Clear? Now moving forward, when we add an apostrophe and s to a noun, yes, it is talking about the same ownership or possession which I told you a few minutes ago. Okay, now the next is Now read some more examples. Simi's school means the school Simi goes to. Okay, it means that she is not the owner of the school. Simi's school means the school where she goes to. Okay, Simi's house means the house where Simi lives. It may or it may not belong to her. ओके, सिमीज हाउस मीन्स जहाँ पे सिमी रहती है. ये ज़रूरी नहीं कि सिमी उस घर की मालकिन है या ये उस घर की ओनर है. प्रिंसिपल स्पीच मतलब कि द स्पीच दैट इज़ मेड बाय द प्रिंसिपल, वो स्पीच जो प्रिंसिपल ने दिया. क्लियर. सिमीज स्कूल मतलब ये नहीं कि सिमी स्कूल की मालकिन है या सिमी स्कूल की ओनर है. सिमी स्कूल मतलब जहाँ पे सिमी पढ़ती है. सिमीज हाउस मतलब जहाँ पे सिमी रहती है. क्लियर. नाउ द नेक्स्ट इज, let's crack it. Identify the case of each underlined noun. Write N for nominative, O for objective, and P for possession cases, possessive case. So in the example one, like in the question one, Abbas is a proper noun, means it's a nominative case. Race is an objective case. Carpenter is a nominative case. Table is an objective case. Nimi is an nominative case. Picture is an objective case. So in the same way you have to do this in your fair copy. I repeat, you have to do this in your fair copy. In your fair copy. Clear. Moving forward. So students, there's one new thing to you, that is formation of nouns. Okay, so noun can be formed from adjectives and verbs both. For example, let's say swim. Swim means तैरना. तो swim is a verb, but इसी का जो swimming अगर हम लोग कर देंगे और अगर ये सेंटेंस के स्टार्टिंग में आ गया, ठीक है, ये स्विमिंग, तो ये स्विमिंग विल एक्ट एज अ नाउन. ये एक्चुअली में ये आप पढ़ोगे अपने सीनियर क्लासेस में. इट इज़ एक्चुअली ए जिरंड. GERUND. इट इज़ अ जिरंड. लेट मी राइट इट अगेन. GERUND. जिरंड. ओके. सो वही चीज़ यहाँ पे बता रहा है कि करेजियस है, करेज है. लाफ है, लाफ्टर है. Actually, the point is, courageous is an adjective, laugh is a verb, wise is an adjective, poor is an adjective, act is a verb. So here there is a compilation of adjective and verb. Here there is a compilation of adjective and verb, and this is further changed into noun. How? Courageous can be written as courage and it becomes a noun. Laugh, when we add ter, it becomes laughter and laughter is a noun. Wise, if we add dom after wise, it becomes wisdom and wisdom is a noun. Similar with poverty and similar with action or actor. Clear. So the question that we have to do is, fill in the blanks with the nouns formed from the words given in brackets as manage. So manage is a verb, and if we want to convert this manage into a noun, we can call it management. So the management has decided to give into the workers' demand. And see students, here workers' demand. Since the word workers is ending with s, so simply we wrote an extra apostrophe over the letter s. Clear. A dash in the park lost his phone. A jogger means the one who does jogging is called jogger. A jogger in the park lost his phone. I don't have time to read the entire newspaper every day, but I do read the edit. नहीं, edit नहीं होगा, इसका होगा the editorials. Edit is a verb. Edit is a verb, but editorials is a noun. Clear students? So in the same way you have to do these questions You have to do this part A, you have to do this part B, and right now we'll start with this nouns as objects of preposition. Right now we'll start with this with so similarly we have nouns as objects of preposition. Previously we studied about nouns as noun cases. Now the next is noun as an object of prepositions, and it is also very easy, my dear students. Let me tell you why is it easy. Actually, let's check. From the beginning of the year, I revised my work every day. I repeat, from the beginning of the year, I revised my work every day. From the beginning of the year, I revised my work every day. So beginning is the object of the preposition from. So my duty is, or our duty is, to find the preposition. So from is the preposition, of is the preposition. So the noun that is coming after the preposition, that noun is called the preposition of, that noun is called the object of preposition. Okay, so that noun is called as the object of preposition. For example, this beginning is coming after the preposition from, and therefore beginning is the object of preposition from. I repeat कि अगर कोई नाउन किसी preposition के बाद आ रहा है, ठीक है, लिसन टू इट अगेन. अगर कोई नाउन किसी preposition के बाद आ रहा है तो बेसिकली वो नाउन है उस preposition का ऑब्जेक्ट. जैसे इस एग्जाम्पल में बिगिनर, बिगिनिंग एक ऐसा नाउन है जो कि फ्रॉम preposition के बाद आया है. क्लियर? सो बिगिनिंग इज द ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ द preposition फ्रॉम. सिमिलरली ऑफ द ईयर में ऑफ एक preposition है जिसके बाद ईयर आ रहा है, तो ईयर एक नाउन है, ठीक, और ऑफ preposition है, मीन्स ईयर इज एक्चुअली द ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ द preposition of. Clear? Let's say English is the most interesting subject for the students in our class. So here tell me the two prepositions, for and in. So object of preposition for is students, and object of preposition in is class. Check it. Student is the object of preposition for, and class is the object of preposition in. Clear? Noun, noun phrase, pronoun that comes after preposition is called object of preposition. बच्चों ये वही चीज़ जो मैंने बताया कि नाउन हो या कोई नाउन फ्रेज हो या कोई प्रोनाउन, अगर वो किसी preposition के बाद आता है तो वो कहलाता है ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ preposition. ठीक है? Now let's check part C. Circle the preposition and underline the object of the preposition. Clear? So in question 1, I like butter on toast. So on is a preposition and toast is the object of the preposition. Over is the preposition and the hills are the object of preposition. There is a cow in the field, so in is a preposition and field is the object of the preposition. She sat by the fire to dry her hair. So here by is the preposition and fire is the object, and again to is the preposition and here is the object. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, so on is the preposition and wall is the object of preposition. Clear? So in the same we have to do this part C as well. Okay, my dear students, so your homework is here up to part C. Your homework is here up to part C, and I'll teach this part D in the next lecture. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the day, my dear students.